Silence is not weakness, it's strategy and power. In a world that rushes to speak first, in a world that equates loudness with confidence and noise with strength, silence becomes a rare form of intelligence. Silence is a decision, a choice to hold back words until they carry weight, to hold back emotions until they transform into fuel, to hold back reactions until they benefit your growth. When you stay silent, you are not surrendering, you are conserving energy, you are protecting your spirit. You are observing more than you are revealing, and observation is the birthplace of wisdom. Silence allows you to see things others miss. When everyone is talking, nobody is listening. When everyone is shouting, nobody is learning. But the silent one, the one who watches, notices the patterns, hears what is unspoken, understands intentions behind words. Silence gives you insight that noise will never offer. In silence, you learn who truly supports you and who only seeks attention. In silence, you watch people expose themselves without you ever needing to speak. Power is not always shown through force. Sometimes power is the calmness you hold when chaos surrounds you. Silence is also discipline. It takes strength to stay quiet when the ego wants to respond, when pride demands to explain, when the heart wants to defend itself. But silence says, I do not need to prove myself to you. Silence says, my results will answer every question you have. Silence says, I choose growth over argument, patience over impulse, progress over approval. And people who master silence master themselves. They do not move based on emotions, they move based on purpose. They do not speak to be heard, they speak only when words matter. They do not give energy to every situation, they choose where to invest it. There is power in what you withhold. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Not everyone earns the right to know your plans, your next step, your dream. Silence protects vision, silence guards purpose, silence keeps your foundation strong while you build brick by brick. People cannot attack what they cannot see. They cannot doubt what you do not reveal. They cannot interfere with what they do not know. So, while they speak loudly, you move quietly. While they try to impress the world with words, you prepare to impress the world with results. And there will come a moment when silence no longer hides you, it elevates you. When the world looks again and sees you have grown, succeeded, risen beyond what they expected, they will finally understand the strength you carried in silence. Let actions make the noise, not your words. There is a difference between talking about greatness and living it. Many people speak loudly about their goals, their dreams, their intentions, but noise never replaces effort. Words are cheap until backed by results. When you focus more on speaking than doing, you spend your strength on promises instead of progress. Actions, however, require discipline. They demand consistency. They move silently, without applause, without attention, but they build foundations that cannot be shaken. The world listens not to voices, but to outcomes. A person who works in silence and shows results when the time is right holds more respect than someone who talks constantly and delivers nothing. When your actions speak, you don't need explanations. You don't need validation. You don't need to convince anyone who you are or what you are capable of. Success becomes your language and achievement becomes your introduction. People pay attention when results appear, even if they ignored you before. Actions prove character, actions prove commitment, actions prove everything words try to imitate. A seed doesn't make noise when it grows underground. It breaks the surface silently and suddenly, and its presence becomes undeniable. You are the same. You may be working silently now, unseen, unrecognized, but one day, your growth will break through and speak for you louder than anything you could have said. Let actions carry your message. Talk less, work more. The purpose of hard work is not to impress others, but to transform yourself. Every hour spent in effort, every sacrifice, every late night, every failure you stand up from is a statement. You are telling life you want more. You're telling yourself you refuse to settle. You're telling the world you're coming, not by announcing it, but by proving it. People trust what they see, not what they hear. So show them something real. Build something strong. Let your success become the volume that no voice can match. It takes discipline to stay quiet and grind. Discipline to resist the urge to prove yourself through words. Discipline to let your progress reveal itself naturally. But that discipline is what separates achievers from dreamers. Dreamers speak, achievers do, dreamers imagine. Achievers build, dreamers hope, achievers act. And when you choose action over noise, you shift from wishing to becoming. The world may doubt you now, but doubt fuels those who work, not those who talk. Let them talk, let them question. Let them laugh, you stay focused, you stay committed, you stay working, because one day their voices will fall silent when your results begin to echo. The loudest person is rarely the most successful. The one who works quietly, who hustles without seeking attention, who builds without needing approval, that person becomes undeniable. And when you rise with proof, not promises. Your actions will speak a language everyone understands: achievement, growth, victory. Without you having to say a single word, growth happens in stillness. Clarity comes in calmness. When the world is loud and fast, when thoughts collide and emotions rush like waves, stillness becomes the space where transformation begins. Growth is not always found in movement. It is often found in the quiet moments when you sit with your thoughts, reflect on your choices, and understand yourself deeply. The mind needs silence to organize itself. It needs peace to rebuild strength. In stillness, you can hear your own voice without the world drowning it out. You can feel what truly matters without distractions pulling you away. You can see your path more clearly because calmness removes the fog created by stress and confusion. In stillness, you learn to separate impulse from purpose. So many decisions are made in haste, driven by emotion instead of intention. But when you pause, breathe, and allow silence to settle, you think with clarity instead of urgency. Calmness sharpens your vision. It turns chaos into direction. It allows you to see solutions instead of problems. Instead of reacting, you start responding. Instead of fighting battles that don't matter, you conserve your energy for the battles that lead to growth. Progress is easier when the mind is quiet, because clarity brings focus, and focus brings results. Stillness teaches patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Flowers don't bloom because the world demands it. They bloom when the season is right. You are no different. There are seasons for grinding and seasons for breathing, seasons for action and seasons for reflection. When you allow yourself to be still, you begin to understand timing. You recognize that rushing delays progress instead of accelerating it. You learn that maturity is not in speed but in depth. True growth requires roots, and roots grow quietly beneath the surface before anything appears above ground. Your growth may not be visible right now, but in stillness it strengthens. Calmness is also power. When you are calm in stressful situations, you remain in control, you think clearly, you make better decisions. You don't let anger speak for you or fear guide you. Calmness keeps your energy aligned with your purpose. It protects your peace from being disturbed by temporary chaos. It keeps you grounded while others panic. A calm mind can overcome anything because it sees beyond the moment. Noise distracts, silence reveals. And when you are calm, when you truly know yourself, no voice, no opinion, no challenge can shake you easily. Stillness reconnects you to your inner strength. In quiet moments, you remember who you are, what you stand for, and what you're capable of. You realign with your purpose, and purpose fuels growth. You start noticing small improvements within yourself, subtle changes in mindset, the way you think, the way you handle situations, the way you rise after setbacks. These shifts are signs of growth, invisible to others but deeply felt by you. Over time, they become the foundation of a stronger version of yourself. Growth is not loud, it's slow, it's patient, it happens when no one is watching. And clarity doesn't arrive with noise. It appears gently when the mind becomes still, like calm water reflecting truth. Work privately, shine publicly. There is a different kind of strength that grows in silence, a power that develops away from attention, away from approval, away from the need to be seen. When you choose to work in private, you protect your vision. You give yourself space to grow without the pressure of judgment or expectation. You allow your dreams to breathe, to evolve, to take form naturally. People often feel a hunger to announce goals, to show progress, to share every step. But growth is more sacred than that. It doesn't need an audience to be real. It needs dedication. It needs patience. It needs consistency in the dark before it shines in the light. Working privately teaches you discipline. No one is cheering. No one is watching. No one is applauding the effort you put in daily. It's just you, your goals, your grind, and your commitment. And in that private struggle, you learn who you really are. You learn whether you want success enough to keep going when nobody sees the effort. You learn to build habits that don't rely on praise. You learn to push yourself because you want growth, not recognition. When there is no audience, your character becomes your motivation. You stop working for approval and start working for progress. Privacy protects you from negativity. When fewer people know your plans, fewer opinions can interfere. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will support it. Some will doubt you, some will criticize, some will secretly hope you fail. But when you move quietly, you give them nothing to attack, nothing to judge, nothing to limit. You move freely, without noise, without resistance. Your journey becomes yours alone, focused, intentional, pure. You rise without distraction because silence frees you from comparison and pressure. Working in private does not mean hiding. It means preparing. A seed does not grow in the open. It grows underground first, unseen, protected, nourished by darkness until the moment it breaks through. Your progress works the same way. Your unseen hours, your silent effort, your private battles, those are your roots. They ground you, they strengthen you, they prepare you for the moment you bloom, and when you finally rise into the public eye, you rise with something solid, skill, resilience, proof. You shine not as someone who just appeared, but as someone who earned their place through quiet persistence. When success finally shows, it speaks louder than any announcement could. You don't need to explain how hard you work, they'll see it in your results. You won't need to convince anyone to believe in you, they'll witness what you've built. The world pays attention when greatness becomes visible, but greatness is shaped in private long before it is noticed. People will think it happened suddenly, but you will know it was years in the making, crafted during late nights, early mornings, silent sacrifices, and constant effort with no spotlight. Your shine is brighter because it was built in the dark, through patience, through discipline, through quiet determination, through relentless consistency that nobody saw but you. Patience brings results naturally over time. Everything meaningful in life grows slowly, steadily, with intention rather than speed. We live in a world that wants everything fast, fast success, fast progress, fast recognition. But real achievement does not come overnight. It comes through waiting, through consistency, through showing up even when nothing seems to be changing. Patience is not sitting still doing nothing. Patience is working with trust. It is planting seeds and understanding they will take time to bloom. It is putting in effort without demanding instant reward. It is believing that what you are building will become something great even when you cannot see the outcome yet. Patience is strength. It takes strength to keep going when results are invisible. It takes strength to continue improving when no one notices. It takes strength to remain focused when progress feels slow. But progress is still progress, even if it is quiet, even if it is gradual. Every step forward counts. Every small improvement compounds. Every hour of practice, every habit repeated, every mistake learned from becomes part of the foundation. Growth accumulates. It builds layer upon layer until one day it becomes something undeniable. The world sees the success, but they did not see the patience behind it. Impatience kills potential. It makes people quit too early, walk away too soon, abandon dreams just before breakthrough. Patience, on the other hand, keeps you steady. When obstacles appear, patience keeps you working instead of giving up. When things feel slow, patience reminds you that speed is not the goal, progress is. When frustration rises, patience reminds you that great things require great time. You cannot rush mastery, you cannot rush transformation, you cannot rush nature, and you cannot rush destiny. Everything arrives when you are prepared to receive it. Patience also sharpens character. It teaches resilience. It teaches discipline. It teaches you to trust the process instead of forcing it. You start to understand that setbacks are not signs to stop. They are part of the journey. Failure becomes a lesson instead of a defeat. Delays become opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, better. You become someone who does not break under pressure, someone who does not fall apart when progress slows, someone who endures long enough to reach the finish line while others give up halfway. The patient succeed because they outlast the impatient. Time rewards those who respect its pace. When you work with patience, you give life room to unfold naturally. You allow your skills to refine, your mind to mature, your opportunities to align. You stop chasing results and start becoming someone who deserves them. Success is not only about reaching the goal, it is about who you become on the way. Patience shapes you into someone capable, stable, thoughtful, strong. It removes desperation and replaces it with confidence. It replaces frustration with understanding. It replaces rush with rhythm. Eventually, the moment comes when effort transforms into achievement, when unseen work becomes visible success, when everything falls into place at the right time because you waited long enough to receive what was meant for you. Success speaks loudest when you stay silent. You don't need to announce every step you take, every plan you make, every goal you chase. The world may not see your effort, but it will see what your effort creates. Silence doesn't mute your ambition, it amplifies the results that follow. When you focus less on proving and more on improving, you shift your energy into action instead of explanation. Success is not built through words, it's built through work. And when that work finally pays off, the transformation is louder than anything you could ever say. You don't need to convince people who you are when your achievements speak for you. Silence builds power because it reduces distraction. When you talk too much about what you are going to do, you drain energy that could have fueled execution. You give others expectations, opinions, judgment, and sometimes sabotage. But when you move quietly, you protect your progress. You grow without interference, you build without pressure, you rise without noise. People may wonder what you're doing, where you're going, how you're moving, but they won't know until the results arrive. And when they arrive, they speak clearly. They tell the story of your hard work without you needing to narrate it. Success that grows silently is harder to stop. It's built on discipline, persistence, resilience, not applause. It's rooted in habits that were formed when no one was watching. It's shaped by sacrifices that nobody knew about. Every early morning, every late night, every moment of doubt you overcame is stored in the final outcome. And when success shows, it carries the weight of every quiet step you took. It becomes undeniable, unshakable, respected not because you demanded trust, but because you earned it. Staying silent while working also develops internal confidence. You no longer need approval to feel worthy. You no longer seek validation to feel motivated. You trust in your path, your growth, your pace. You allow success to unfold naturally instead of trying to force recognition. Silence builds you from the inside, success reveals you from the outside, and together they create a presence that does not require explanation. People notice, people feel it, people respect what took time, effort, and patience to build quietly. When success finally speaks, it changes everything. Those who doubted you fall silent, those who ignored you pay attention, those who underestimated you stand